What is your fantasy trio? Mine is Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and a rabid herpes-abused crazed grizzly bear. However, I've slowly started to accept that I will never have the opportunity to see that dream trio, and if I am to suffer disappointment, then so are you. In short, your fantasy trio this time around will consist of yours truly, Jello and Pong, so pucker up, quit your moaning and welcome to episode 1 of our Crossark adventures. To kick this fiesta off, I spawned in only to discover that I had all my levels stuck in health, so as is tradition due to my HP, I humbly accepted the role of arachnoid blow tester. I started by giving the crazed cocaine spider a little taste, and sure enough he chose to join our squad instantly. Next I went over to see how Jello was doing from his side. His task was to get a tropical Charizard, which he did successfully. The problem with Jello is that when he starts taming things, he just doesn't stop. So now I find myself enjoying the consequences of my actions, which apparently involves me learning to swim at an Olympic level. So after swimming breaststroke for a while, Doug Jones finally calmed his ass down and joined us. Next up we went and tamed a couple of Trike Tysons and Mr. Soka-Lots. You would think that would have been enough to satisfy Jello and his thirst for living the pro-life lifestyle. But you would have thought wrong, you see, because to me it had become clear, Jello's new goal in life was to break me mentally, and I would be lying if I didn't say he was succeeding. Think he cared about my mental health? Not for a second. So with tears in my eyes we went ahead and tamed ourselves Hedwig from Harry Potter. Now at this point I was more or less just a walking corpse. Never in my life had someone forced me to tame this much stuff before getting to enjoy the game. In order for you guys to understand how much I suffered, I want you to put yourself in a roleplay situation for me. Imagine you call an escort service and your daughter shows up. That about sums up how happy I was at this point. You know, the real question in that scenario is, do you get a family discount? I guess the tears must have worked. We finally went raiding. My eyes started to see color again and birds were singing songs of joy. The base we found was protected by a few turrets and explants. Being the gardening enthusiasts that we are, we opted to trim the base's shrubs for them. Our kindness knows no bounds. Next, Jello proceeded to show off his new Play-Doh. Needless to say, Trike Tyson and I were very impressed. We moved forward slowly. The base turrets, however, didn't seem to like that idea one bit. Feeling as welcome as a prostitute at a baptism, we inhaled projectiles. When I say we, I mostly mean Mr. Trike Tyson. Yours truly was sitting safely on his back, safely observing as he experienced his first rusty trombone. If you don't know what that is, I definitely don't suggest googling it. Also, don't Google blue waffle. Yep, don't do that. You did it, didn't you, you filthy snow Mexicans? I hope you enjoy sleeping with two eyes open. Jello apparently got jealous of the connection I was building with Trike Tyson, so he decided he was going to enjoy some of the companionship. They relocated their position in order to deal with one of the remaining explants, which we found to be blocking our path. Also, we had to stay true to our newly found gardening enthusiast belief lifestyle. Hashtag keep it green, keep it clean. Now that we dealt with that problem, all that remained was to send one lucky volunteer up to the door in a stealth-like manner, so who better than the guy running 0 movement speed and 960 health? Yeah, Chunky Joji leaping to the objective like a gazelle in peak condition. We placed the Play-Doh on the door. Sadly, however, one of the explants around the corner sucker slapped me in the eyeball, so I waited it out. The door opened and my PTSD kicked in as I noticed I had to climb a little ledge. If you have seen my previous episodes, you may be aware I have a thing against ledges. We grapple up and instantly get greeted by an internal turret. Time for a new strategy. And by strategy I mean charge that house like if it was your abusive ex-husband who owes you money. As you can see here, some people, no names mentioned, Pong, could do with some work on their cryopod tossing skills. Yours truly, however, made it in. I drew up a pentagram, tossed out Mr. Soka-Lot, and thought to myself, nothing can go wrong from here. I thought wrong that internal didn't give two shits about the Geneva Convention and mowed us down like street rats. Needless to say, I died again. It could of course have helped if we owned one single set of flak. Meanwhile, I was enjoying the black and white screen. Ambitious people like Jello and Pong decided to take the smart, cautious way of dealing with the turret. They simply soaked it out with Trike Tyson's face. With the help of Hedwig, I get back into the base. As I see the Trike was bloody, my instant reaction was to go and heal the poor soul. Jello, however, coming from the continent of death and crime, continues with his casual sinner lifestyle, thus placing some Play-Doh on one of the doors inside the base. With a quick glare I can tell that there's a cryo-fridge in that room he just opened up, and suddenly Trike Tyson's health was no longer my concern. The cryo-fridge gave us some much-needed necessities such as the wonderful pretzel bird, a couple of budget browsers, one Fluffosaurus Rex, and a much better version of Mr. Sokolot. Hopefully with this new and improved line we will be able to hit some bigger targets. Next, Jello shattered the doors to the crafting room. Inside we found one naked philanthropist and his lovable goats. Now no one here is saying that the owner of this building was Irish. However, as an ex-bartender I learned to profile people, and what it taught me is that Scottish people sleep with sheep. Irish people sleep with goats mostly because the Irish get so drunk they need handlebars. Yeah, that's right, I offended 2 countries in 20 seconds, pull up. Now for those of you who oddly enough watch the content, let's sit down and sum up what we got. We broke into a naked man's house, cosplay Team Rocket stealing his Pokemon. We got some food from the refrigerators, yours truly finally found a mind wipe. We found some heavy turrets, some ammunition, and a couple of quite lovely flak blueprints. In all honesty, the space set us up with a good start for the series. And that's going to summarize it for the first episode of the series. I hope you all step on plenty of Legos and have a terrible day. Thanks for watching.